Welcome back to Just in Our Minds. We're here at Podcast Palooza, Club Paddock. This so many amazing guests here. We're here with Garrett Gunderson. Garrett Gunderson. This gentleman here, he deals with finance, entrepreneurship, and teaches people how to make money and become successful.
Keep a lot of the money that you make.
And keep a lot of the money you make.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, he does have a podcast. What was the name of your podcast?
So it's basically, you just look at on YouTube is where you produce it, just under my name, Garrett Gunderson.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, no, like this whole idea came about because I called Sean one day. I was like, hey dude, we should just get some podcasters together, and then Sean makes things happen, right?
Yeah.
So
send out the Sean signal.
Now it's like, it's like send out the
a swig cup.
So connected and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a swig cup since we're down here.
For now.
Yeah.
Tax
Yeah.
I love Sean, honestly, and he's just like a beacon for great human individual. I'm sure you've seen it all sides of entrepreneurship. There's plenty of snakes in the grass sometimes, and the people that he brings to the table, or the people that are attracted to these groups, are amazing.
What's interesting, I did have a lot of that in my 20s, like a lot of people that were over promisers, big talkers, not do what they say, all that. But the nice thing is, like, for whatever reason, I think from knowledge and experience, I just haven't had those people in my life for a very long time.
I was hired on for multiple companies, and I did networking, like, as a profession. And so I would just go to every networking event. So, and you see that through there, I'm like, oh man, they're here.
Yeah, and I just haven't been to as many. I go to like masterminds that are vetted, which are really helpful, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think back to those days, it's like everyone's just, I went to this thing, it's no longer around, but I remember, like, as soon as I walked in, I was like, this is not the right place to be. It was filled with like people that were pumping their business to be 10 times bigger than it was. And like people that I'm like, there's something off about this person. Then you find out later they were in the middle of like a Ponzi scheme. I
had somebody
that kind of stuff.
Dresses super casual, and they're pretty wealthy. And he was helping me point out, like, other individuals. He was like, that guy's bullshit. That guy rents his Rolex, type of deal. That's not even his car out there. And I'm like, geez, man. It is that, you see a lot of people with
I hate that
mask
fake
on.
it till you make it stuff.
Exactly.
Dude.
I mean, we've all been there in some way. Like, there are days that you're like, you gotta give yourself the power, like you're writing the story. Maybe the character's not fully developed yet, but.
Right. But the thing is, like, when you're real about that, it actually gets you really connected with
100%.
people. Right, I get like being young and insecure and like wanting to act like everything's perfect and always good, like, but you don't build real connection. Like, I was just speaking at this event in March and hit it off with this guy, and he's like, dude, I just love your energy. You're just so dialed. I'm like, bro, in my head right now, I'm not that dialed. Like, I'm feeling like a little off. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
And then when I said that, like, it's the kind of work that he helps with, and he just gave me a suggestion right then that was super helpful. Like, if I wasn't real, we would have never had that connection.
No. And having the alignment and being open. Felicia and us were just talking about that. Like, when you become authentically yourself and you can be that person, you'll attract the people that need to be in your life, right? Because if people are playing characters, you're going to attract the version of that story that maybe you don't need to be around.
It is interesting, though, like, because some people, they conflate a reputation. Like, sometimes when I'm introduced, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to meet the person they introduced.
Right?
Or, I've had that on stage where someone introduced, I'm like, dude, I don't know what that was about. Like, or just, a lot of people, because I've written books and stuff, I think that everyone thinks everyone's further along than they actually are.
Oh, 100%.
But there's days that I get up and I don't feel good and I have to deal with my own stuff or something that doesn't go right. And I have to, it's just that I'm having awareness now that in my younger years, I just wouldn't even been aware. I've just been stuck in that mindset,
And it, I mentioned this a couple times on the podcast, but one of my good friends told me something, was like, imposters don't have imposter syndrome. It's okay to not always feel like you live up to those, whatever version that the world creates of you. Because they even, like, with podcasting, like, it was top 20% for Spotify's podcasting last year. But when people say you have a top podcast, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm not a Joe Rogan, like, it happens, but it's so what got you on from, like, the beginning? What kind of got you on the journey to your financial freedom, to being able to create the version of yourself here?
Well, when I was 15, I wanted to make some money. I wanted to get a job. My dad's like, well, if you're going to play sports, it's going to be hard to get a job. but he was a coal miner and he'd bring home surface vehicles and I'd help him clean it. He's like, you could probably just clean vehicles, because he had taught me. So I was like, so I went to my mom who worked at a credit union. I'm like, hey, I'd like to talk to the president and see if I could clean the repossessed vehicles. She's like, fine. Talked to him, knew his daughter. She's like, sure. Then went to the school district, talked to the principal. I was like, hey, I want to clean people's vehicles. So I just started detailing cars, and I won $5,000 for being the Young Entrepreneur of the Year before I was 18, and I wanted to invest that money. Now, you have to have a custodian. My mom was like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm not signing off for you to put money in some investment. Smart, because I didn't know what I was doing. But that led me down the path of, like, when I got in college, asking people that were investment advisors in the fraternity that had graduated long before, like, what to do. And that led me to getting an internship when I was 19.
That's amazing.
So at 19, I mean, the internship was basically peddling life insurance and mutual funds, but it was a start.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there telling people I'm a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I'm just peddling products all day long.
Yeah.
And it's mostly like, hey, bring your family and friends to the office and we'll help you sell. But it got me there, right?
Yeah.
And then the year 2000 happened, the market started to crash, and like all my family's like, what's going on? And I didn't want to tell them all the same old garbage. Oh, it's market's on sale. You're in it for the long haul, dollar cost average. And that's when my real education began. That's when I figured out I can help people keep more of what they make. I can help them save tax. I can help them restructure loans and lower their interest. I can help them like get better pricing on insurance or design it better. And it's like that puts more money in their pocket.
This episode is brought to you by Terrace Metrics. We want to thank them for being on the podcast. In a world where we're constantly trying to better understand ourselves and the people around us, Terrace Metrics is helping lead that conversation. Their platform provides professional insights into how people think, communicate, learn, and work together, helping schools, businesses, coaches, and organizations create stronger relationships and better outcomes. Whether you're developing leaders, building healthier teams, or creating environments where people can thrive, Terrace Metrics gives you practical tools backed by meaningful data to help unlock human potential. If you're ready to improve communication, strengthen your culture, and better understand the people you lead, visit Terrace Metrics to learn more. And if you reach out, make sure to let them know you heard about them on the Just in Our Minds podcast. That's terracemetrics.org. Thank you for being a sponsor.
And then I really focused on cash flow.
Intern and like moving into that and everything kind of helped see what not to do too.
Yeah.
On top of
because,
it.
I started in 98 and 99, the market's just going amazing. Mm-hmm. But then there's 3 straight negative years in 2000, 2001, 2002. And in 2000, when I was going to events, they're still saying market's on sale, but it was going way further down. And there's other people say, oh, just stay in it for the long haul. But I'm like, what about investing in yourself? Mm-hmm. What about keeping more of what you make? What about creating automation that simplifies your life? What about like growing a team if you're a business owner? What about growing your own business, which is something you have influence and control over? Like I just asked different questions and got excited about different things. Like if someone just wants to not think about it and set their money aside, like I'm not the right person to help guide them. But if someone's like, hey, I really want to create financial independence where I have enough cash flow from assets to cover my expenses so I can swing for the fences in what I do, and I have a vision that's compelling and interesting, it's like, let's go there. Let's get your foundation handled.
I love that. Outside the box thinking. You ask the questions that you couldn't find answers to probably right off the get-go. You had to do the deep diving, and then that created...
Most people have the answers. They just don't have the questions.
100%.
And so I can ask them the questions, I can mentor them, and then once I know what they want, I can build the team to coach them to get what they want. But the problem is most people don't know what they want, and the financial advisor just projects what they want onto them, how they get paid. Mm-hmm. And so they're not necessarily getting further along as they want to be because there's still maybe some money baggage in their head. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're taking too much risk. Maybe they don't feel in control of it. Maybe they're feeling they have to grind just to put money in that plan, but they're not enjoying their life along the way. Like, all that kind of stuff, I want to challenge that thinking. I just don't think it's the best way.
No, definitely. So they have this stagnant pool of money in their pond, and you're giving pathways. You're helping them create new pathways to get to new areas.
Why have you lived? How many lives have you lived by this time of your life? Like you've done so many things already, dude.
Yeah, dude. 37 years. I've worked 32 jobs from 14 on. Some of them were seasonal. I went to college for winemaking, and that's 6 months out of the year. I'd have to find other things to do. Dude, looking back on it, I'm like, even a couple years ago, I was like, didn't think I was going to be here. Sometimes it's an interesting turn. And I'm sure you see that across the board. In finance business, how different has things been? How different is the playing field now, or is there similarities when it comes to like when you started to now, and like with Meta and different demographics, the more online presence and
It used to be that only the ultra high net worth got good advice. When I started, that was it. Everyone else got really pretty bad advice, fragmented advice, transactional advice, because it was just too expensive to get really good advice. You'd have to either be wealthy enough you could have your own financial team that only worked for your family, it's a family office, or you'd have to be wealthy enough to have a multi-family office that might have 100 clients, but they bring the full team to you. Now we've got fractional family offices, virtual family offices. We can bring, for people on the way up that don't have huge assets, all of the strategy to get them to save tax and protect their assets that in the past was just too unaffordable. And now, thanks to AI and technology, it's just continuing to be more and more accessible.
And then going the opposite direction, not having enough, there's probably too much information sometimes out there, convoluted. And then you got, like we were talking about today earlier, the gurus that don't have the...
Yeah, I heard 70% of TikTok videos about finance are wrong.
Yeah.
And my wife will send me videos and I'll watch it. Like this one video was like these two guys saying, did you know if you just pay your mortgage twice a month that you'll pay off your house 5 years earlier? That's definitely not true. What they're talking about is called biweekly payments. Biweekly is every 2 weeks. When you pay every 2 weeks, you actually make a full extra payment per year because there's 52 weeks divided by 2, right?
Yeah.
So
then you don't have to worry about the interest.
Yeah. So basically divided by 4. So
yeah.
So it's actually, you're just making an extra payment, but they act like you're not making an extra payment because they don't know. And there's millions of views on this video. I'm like, so there's just a lot of bad advice out there.
Yeah. Do you ever do any of those videos?
Look what happened with crypto. I mean, plenty of bad advice,
So you're saying NFTs weren't good?
Dude, I got sucked into an NFT because my son wanted to get into music. And it was an NFT that I'd have direct access to Stevie Aoki, the DJ. It was supposed to be a lifetime NFT. I could go to all the shows, be in the green rooms, but we could write a song together. We'd go to the studio. So I'd bring my kids. It's a pretty cool experience. And then they just shut it down one day. But there's no legal precedent with an NFT. It's an NFT. It's not a normal contract.
Yeah.
And so they just walk away with no consequence, And I'm in finance. I should know better, but I have a soft spot for my kids.
It's also
I was
hard
a hero for a day.
Yeah, it's also hard to being at the beginning stages of some of that, and you're like, well, you see what happens with Bitcoin and a bunch of other stuff, and you're like, this could be a real thing. Like, it's going for it. And then the whole,
it'll be like the internet. The internet was like in the 90s. Most of those companies didn't make it, but now we have Amazon and Google. So that's what crypto will be. There will be some that make it.
Yeah.
There's value from having blockchain, and there's a value for having a finite amount of something instead of infinite.
100%.
But there's also just a lot of stuff that's not real.
This episode of Just in Our Mind is brought to you by Optimum Regen Peptides. If you're involved in laboratory research and want a company that takes quality, transparency, and consistency seriously, check out Optimum Regen Peptides. They provide research-grade peptides and compounds that are third-party lab tested, compounded in the USA, and backed by batch-level COAs so researchers can verify purity and identity. Their catalog includes categories like metabolic research, recovery and repair research, cognitive research, and overall health research, and Talos. Optimum Regen Peptides is built around real testing, real people, and real standards. All products are strictly for laboratory research only. They are not for human or animal consumption and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Visit OptimumRegenPeptides.com and tell them that you heard about them on Just in Our Minds podcast. And the promo code is Sloan10. Yeah, and it's so wild too when you look at this is kind of off when you look at the NFTs and different things, and then you could see how you could buy the meta real estate or whatever through the. Whatever. I forget the term for that. They had, anyways, but you know what I'm talking about.
Using MetaMask, so that you
the MetaMask.
So that you have the one unique
virtual real estate.
Virtual real estate.
Yeah, and people are buying it. We're buying it up. I don't know if that's going to come back around. It makes sense if there's a virtual world and you could do this. You could get a house next to Snoop Dogg's virtual property. But I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy that things even long ago, like Second Life, took off. That was like building this digital virtual reality for people. I think that. The problem is, if you don't have a lot of money, it's pretty appealing to just put on some glasses to take you to a different place. But that could take you away from building quality relationships, being out in nature, just walking. We've just gotten where these companies are trying to get people addicted to technology. And people that are addicted to technology don't have a better life. They have a worse life.
Mad scientists out there too.
We're talking about the smartest people in the world.
People. And now it's AI on top of that.
Dude, I know, because I had my AI consultant in yesterday. We're working on a bunch of stuff. And I said, name one person that's working less because of AI. Everybody I know is working twice as much trying to figure the AI game out.
100%.
It's just more work.
Yeah. And then, or I guess maybe there are some artists or something, that graphic designers or things like that. But even then, it's like, but it's the same thing as the printing press and everything else that have come out. The books, people didn't.
There's going to be new
books.
careers, new jobs. Like, that's the thing. But old things are going to die off. You had the scribes. They weren't going to have a job anymore.
No.
But we democratized education and got access. It's that whole notion of like people that believe they just don't understand how economics works. So they just think if one thing goes away, everything goes away, not looking at what the new careers and ideas. I mean, this is happening at an advancement in rate that we're not used to. So it's going to be scarier because it could really slip on the reality of purpose for people.
Oh, 100%.
And it could rapidly move to unemployment in a way that we hadn't handled before. So it's definitely a different ballgame that we're playing with, but there's already new careers that have been created.
Yeah. And then other people too. I mean, not everybody's meant for blue collared work, but there's blue collar's going to open right back up again for a lot of people. I noticed that there's a trend of that.
Yeah. Until these robots can be trained, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. We got another 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. These robots are crazy. Just looking at them being able, I was like, why are you teaching them how to fight already?
That's
Why?
frightening.
Why do we need them to punch and kick?
They
don't need
this
to
doesn't
ninja
need to be
get up.
Terminator.
They don't need to ninja get up.
No.
They're already way more athletic than Terminator. We don't need T-1000s.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm like that. The Skynet shouldn't have been real.
Right.
Like, but here we are. It used to. Was it 1986? First Terminator comes out.
It's either utopia or destruction.
Yeah, I hope if it does come to that, because it's not like we have a utopian government out here. We don't have to get into that, but
yeah,
it is a real. Anyways, so what are some of the, like, talking to you about it being like a pretty grounded individual? What are some of the things that you were able to do for like yourself as a mind shift to get you out of the, like, maybe like that, that make money culture, that the grind culture that burns yourself out constantly. You don't have time for anything but making it. I see that sometimes across
Thank
the
God
board.
for my wife. Like, she was just like, is this the life that you want? At one point, she's like, I'm like a single mom going all this stuff without you, because I'm saying yes to every speaking gig. I'm on the road. And then in 2012, I just told her, I'm like, I'm going to show you how important you are to me. And I just only spoke if I brought her and my kids. I wasn't as good of a speaker because I would just leave the stage and go hang out with them.
Yeah.
I took more time off and had more time at home, to the point where she's like, are we going to be okay? Because I was home so much and had so much time with them. We would go into Park City for the summer. But the reality is I just learned how to delegate. Like, now when I think of people bragging about how hard they're working, I'm like, cool, so you just haven't learned to delegate?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, why are we bragging about that? Yeah, you can outwork everybody and have a lot of one thing at the expense of a lot of other things. It's not either or. It's not either I work really hard and I have money, or I don't work as hard and I have less money. You just have to do it in a different way. But a lot of people have to break the barrier in their brain of thinking time equals money. Time is money. That's saying that people. But no, if you think time is money, you will trade time for money. So now you're spending time to save money. Mm-hmm. And that's a trap. So instead, like, I was in Hawaii for 2 weeks, and then I went to this place called Nemacolin in Pennsylvania, which is one of the coolest resorts I've been to in the United States. And so I was gone for basically 3 weeks. And my team invented an entire process called the Wealth Breakthrough Experience, presented the whole thing to me. We did it a week after I got home. It was phenomenal. That's what happens when you just have great people, is that you invest in them. Now, the first step is invest in yourself so you have the right mindset. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, how do you invest in people so that you're not trapped in trading time for money?
It's fun how every single one of the podcasts today kind of go into each other in some aspect, because Felicia was talking about having to go from being an individual and learning how to teach other people how to do what she does in their own way. So I have like 3 questions in my head that I want to bring up, but where was that? Where do you think a lot of people struggle with for the idea of time, the idea of money, and the idea of family, and that like that? I think the word I'm looking for is the dichotomy in between that. Like, do you see that across the board with some of the people you work with?
Yeah, what happens is business is really addictive. It just is. It's a lot of fun. You measure it with money. You get plenty of respect and accolades. Family's reward is more depth and it's more connection, but it's not as addictive. Like it could make you feel good to be around family, but it can make you feel fulfilled to accomplish something in business. So sometimes that's at odds. So the way I have to look at it is like I want depth and harmony, not balance. So depth is being present in where I am when I'm at that place. And then harmony is being intentional about what I do. So it's about carving the time out beforehand and then having like complete like guardrails to not violate that. So there is time for the people that matter most. And it's just easier now that I'm in my 40s to say that than it was in my 20s. People tried to tell me that. I just needed to go through working relentlessly and hard. And then even worse is like towards the end of my 20s, I worked just to give money away because of 2008 being over leveraged with real estate. So imagine doing something you hate doing just to lose a bunch of it and then miss out on tons of memories because I was constantly dealing with real estate closings when I'm in the middle of a family function. So I learned a lot from that. But my wife was a good mirror to say, is this the life that you want? Is this the life that you love? Is this the life that we envisioned? You know, she's like, I didn't ask for all this material stuff. I asked for you. She's like, if we have to move and sell, we'll move and sell. But that was just me being short-sighted at the time.
And then you said you caught that. It sounds like what your mid 30s, tail end 30s,
early 30s,
early 30s. Which I mean that's I'm sure looking back, it feels like forever, but that's still more than, because there's 50, 60, 70-year-olds that I hear about that still their family don't like them anymore. And then they always put the business first.
Imagine like you go your whole life grinding so hard that all your family sees is that. I think you say, I'm grinding so hard for you. And then when you get retired and if you do retire, they're not going to hang out with you. They're going to learn that you grind. They're going to be grinding. So you have all this money, you might not even have your health, and then that's when you're going to do all this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of a backwards system.
This episode of Just in Our Minds is proudly sponsored by ASA Formula. We talk a lot on this podcast about getting back to fundamentals, whether it's fitness, nutrition, or how to take care of our bodies. That's exactly what ASA Formula believes when it comes to skincare. Their products are handcrafted in Utah using a nutrient-rich tallow base and simple natural ingredients designed to nourish and hydrate your skin. No unnecessary fillers, just thoughtful, crafted formulas inspired by time-tested traditions and made with quality in mind. If you're looking for skincare that embraces a more natural approach, check out ASA Formula and see why so many people are making the switch. Thanks again to ASA Formula for supporting Just in Our Minds since the beginning. That's asaformula.com. Use promo code JUSTIN10. No, 100%. And then like that, you see it a lot. Like I brought up already. It's just like people are like, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my family. It's like you see them 1 hour.
I told my wife that, and she goes, liar. You're doing this for you.
See, and that's people.
That's the lie. We say, I'm doing this for you. No.
Having people
We're doing it for
accountable.
ourselves. And most people that are like high achievers, it's a trauma response from something that happened when they're young to garner respect of other people instead of like just loving themselves.
And what's your perspective on accolades, materialism, and actually like creating?
I think it's a massive trap. Like I think that Rick Rubin is the quintessential person that's teaching this the proper way, which is art for the artist's sake. The actual process of creation is the value, not the outcome. The more we're addicted to outcomes, the more we let things outside of our control dictate our happiness and our behavior, and that's when we get irrational, frustrated, and in tons of pain. So I just love this notion of like, if you love your work, you've already won. If you love your life, you've already won. If you recognize that you've already won, then you finally realize you've won. You know, you don't have to earn or get to or have something, and you know it's easier said than done for sure. But when you see the values of the journey, like everything changes.
The values of the journey itself, right? Like, like you could read all the way back until like Odysseus and different people. Like
they've been telling us for how long?
Yeah, you've had a rough, like you have to have a rough go and to learn.
But we'll go learn the hard way.
Exactly.
There's something about that. There's some things like I remember I was getting some success in my business and I was like, I talk mortgage. I should start a mortgage company. And then I was like, I talk P&C. I should buy a P&C company. And I had a guy say, dude, you're really good at what you do. Why are you going to get involved in all these other things? You won't be the best at them. And sure enough, I went and did them. And I was like, yeah, I don't have time for all this. I'm not the best at all these things. But I went through the experience. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, and even recently, I had a program I decided not to continue with to help financial advisors because I don't have the capacity to be world-class at the thing that I do for entrepreneurs and do that. It fragments my team. It fragments my time. It could infringe on my time with my family. So it's so hard sometimes, but the most powerful thing we could do is focus. And we learn to say no in a positive way. Hey, thanks for thinking of me. Like, I say no to a lot of speaking stuff now that in the past I would have said yes to. Mm-hmm. And I'm, it's giving me back my life. I like being on the road in some ways and I hate being on others. I really have to pack my own food because there's not a lot of good food options, on the road.
I get it.
So I have my little food backpack and then, I sleep better in my house.
Do you have one of those 6-pack bags? Have you seen those? There's like a backpack that has meal container options so you could zip it up.
Yeah, mine just has like 2 different pockets. I have it in the other room. And I have ice packs in there because it's a cooler.
Oh,
as a
100%.
backpack.
No, I feel you. Especially on set for certain shows, they're like, here's some pulled pork sandwiches. And I'm like, I'm not functioning well off of that. But
yeah, you don't get your kind of chest on a pulled pork sandwich every day.
No. This is from titty dancing and push-ups and amino acids. Man, honestly, this has been a really fun podcast. I had a feeling that we were going to be able to get to these depths. So going through the trials and tribulations, are you at a point now when you realize that you needed to go through, like we've kind of brought it up, but you needed to go through everything you did to become the person you are? Is that something you believe in?
For sure, yeah. But and I'm still going through stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like I'm still
on
learning.
the
It's like
journey.
it's not like I'm not zenned out in nirvana because I wrote the right book. I still go through those challenges, but now I have an awareness and I look for, I don't just try to isolate and figure it out all on my own. I have a good team. I have good people around me. I have my wife. I have like people that I can trust and have conversations with because I think people suffer way too long trying to pretend. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to be in pain, just pretend. That's
and
the
wear
best
too
way to
many
do it.
hats, like in business. That's such a big one.
Because they're people pleasing and they're trying to say yes to too many people. That's something I had to learn and overcome. To be like, oh, thanks for thinking of me. I appreciate it, but I don't have the capacity for it.
Dude, you're speaking to my soul right now because I got too much going on. Less than I had
Not
the last
surprised.
few years.
Hearing all the stuff you do.
Yeah, oh my gosh, man. But then I realized, you say yes to so many things, and then I can't not show up if I can, or if I try my hardest, because that's something that I grew up around is like people that aren't accountable and that say a lot and don't do a lot.
Yeah.
You get that
Responsibility
dopamine
is
hit.
required for me to be in a relationship with someone. That's the key ingredient.
100%.
Are they responsible?
Yeah, show up. If you can show up, cool, awesome. If you can't, at least talk to somebody.
Let me know.
Yeah, and not just ghost me on text. Anyways.
Yeah.
But as somebody starting businesses right now, what are some of the key points you think that somebody could prosper on for creating a business or getting through the trials and tribulations, or maybe having less imposter syndrome, or being able to believe in themselves, or creating a team? They give you a couple.
I mean, you just start where you're at and take the first step. And a lot of people try to get it too perfect. I have a friend, Rich, that wrote a book called Zigzag Principle. He's like, you just do what you can to get to cash flow, then you get your resources, then you scale, but you zigzag your whole way there.
Is he a speaker too?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I think I've seen him speak.
Yeah, good dude. So it's like, so you just get started and you get resourceful and resilient instead of like, again, perfectionism is a problem because a lot of people say that they're perfectionists, they're just procrastinators. That's the thing. You just got to stop procrastinating and do it. You might make a mistake. Yes, you will on some inevitable level make those mistakes. They're the ingredients that will help you out. They'll be part of your path, part of your journey. If you're so afraid of what everybody else thinks about you, you're never going to get it done. People aren't thinking that much about you. They're thinking too much about themselves anyway. And whatever judgment they place on you is a judgment on themselves. Like when people are really negative about something, I'm like, cool, I wonder what's going on in their life. And what do they say to themselves if they're saying this to me? Like, I just don't take it personal.
Yeah, exactly. And once you get to that level of consciousness and understand psychology at a deeper level, everybody's always just a reflection of their own insecurities, like you were saying. And that's huge. Man, that's super powerful. And then for individuals that are creating systems and they're starting to go from being a solo in their business and going into creating teams and wanting to create teams that they can trust like yourself, what are some of the takeaways that you would say for?
Like, if you're willing to pay 20% more, you can get an A-teamer. If you're being cheap about it, you're going to get worse work. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a good systems person, but thanks to AI can just watch you and build a system and literally see how you do something and build a system from it.
Especially if that AI knows you. I've had AI, like when I ask it a question, they're like, are you sure you want that? I think you'd like this more. And I'm like, you know what, AI? I feel like you know me better than I do some days.
Yeah, so it's like, so you let that, there's like no excuse in today's world because it's so much more efficient. It's it's only that people are intimidated. They're not trying it out. But hire the right people and, take your time. But if you have a big vision, that's going to attract good talent. And 100%. If you invest in them and help them grow so you grow together, that's going to attract big talent.
What are some ways that maybe you have reinforced confidence in your life? Because I feel like the majority of people aren't always 100% confident all the time.
I'm just really confident if I'm on stage. If I'm being interviewed, I'm really confident, because I've done comedy and I've done, play, like I do a one-man show that I wrote. Like, so those are really difficult situations that increase confidence. So I just feel at home on stage. Now, I'm not always confident walking in a room of nobody I know, and I've got to go have a conversation because nobody's positioning me, and I'm, so I feel a little bit awkward in those moments. So what I do is I just always bring someone with me, and they're really good at making introductions. Like Sean.
Oh yeah.
He always thinks the world of me and tells everybody about me, and that. So it's like I always have an advocate in my life. If I'm at an event and I want to meet someone, I just find out who knows them and I get an introduction. I tap into my relationship capital, but I know where my strengths are. If I'm writing, I'm strong. If I'm speaking, I'm strong. If I'm being interviewed, I'm pretty strong. I'm not always I still haven't figured out the social media thing. I'm still gaining skills there because that's a totally different skill.
And it's always changing too. The algorithm always wants something new.
But I'm finally immersing myself to figure that out.
Yep.
And that's what you do is you go, all right, who can I surround myself with and who can I have these conversations with and who can position me in a good light because I've been valuable in their life.
No, 100%. And you're a very captivating speaker too. And that's something I feel like you have to have the reps in for that. So
yeah,
I'm over here, I'm like,
I was not good at my first speeches.
Oh, I bet.
I remember I brought this guy, Roberto, who's a speaking coach, to film me in Costa Mesa. And I was so monotone and nervous. It was so bad. And he still tried to say good things and then tell me where to improve. And then I had him fly to Utah. We spent a whole day together, and I spoke again that night. And it was radically different. He went to my office till 3:30 in the morning, frame by frame, what I did well, what I could do better. And it was that's the relationship that you got to invest in yourself. If you want a skill set, you might not be good when you start, but you got to put in the reps. And you got to also get the people that can support you to get where you want to go.
And get the ego out of the way and listen.
Yeah.
If somebody's giving you constructive criticism and it's not coming from malice or a bad place, you adapt. Yeah. That was something that my friend was letting me know because he's a pretty big actor, and he's helping me out in this new journey I'm getting back into, and that was something he was telling me.
You doing stunts?
Stunts, acting, modeling. On top of I just got qualified for stunts on a TV show called Homestead too. Yeah, the director. I was helping them with judo throws. I have background in martial arts and stuff too. And
one of your 37 careers.
yeah, 37, man, working on it. But
never boring.
Never boring. Always fun. I was the whole Master of None, the Renaissance man thing. I've always been very captivated in that. My uncle was Special Forces, and he can recite the scientific name for reptiles, and he's the one that running the big part of the farm. He knows what fungi to put everywhere. So for me, those are the archetypes that I've kind of seen and been a part of. So I'm just making my own version of that.
Cool, man.
But same thing, you had a door open for you. You probably went into it, and I was like, man, people don't get these opportunities, and I've always wanted to do it. Then let's just do it. You have the time. You have I made the time. I made the time. Why not? I'm in my 30s. Let's just do it for a few years. See what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's been fun. I'm trying to. Sorry.
Cool. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to do short ones, right?
Yeah. No. So
good.
that's what I was trying to think of. So
it's a good way to close it out.
Yeah. Well, usually what we do is you'll look into the camera, and then we'll do 3 pieces of advice, which you've given plenty, or just 3 experiences for the guests. Go for it. And that you think that. So 3 pieces of advice or 3 skills that you think most people should have or the guests should listen to.